The San Antonio housing market continues to see newly listed homes hit the market above projected norms, and mortgage interest rates continue to fall. What does all this mean for you? We're going to get into those questions and more coming up. Your San Antonio housing market update starts right now. I'm Chrishna Perkins, a realtor here in Northeast San Antonio, and our first topic to discuss is newly listed homes data. As you'll notice in this slide, which is new listing data from across the country, new listings are stabilizing. The solid black line indicates where we are through November with new listings, and the dotted line represents where we would normally be with new housing inventory based on past listing activity patterns. Now, we're still a ways away from completely changing the housing market, but this is good news for home buyers looking for inventory. Home sellers are beginning to adjust to the market and make moves, and this adds inventory to the housing market. Part of that motivation behind the home sellers might be found in this next graph, showing that interest rates have been softening over the past 5 weeks. This again is welcome news, as new economic data shows some positive outlooks on inflation. Now, this may be too early to celebrate, but just like when rates began to increase, economic news began to speculate on how high and for how long rates would be elevated. Well, right now the opposite is happening. We don't have a definite date of when we might see lower rates, or rather a stabilization of rates, but my guess is that when the Fed does actually lower rates, it will be in small increments, and it may lead to some up and down activity as the housing market adjusts along the way. Now, switching gears to the local San Antonio housing market, we are still in an overall seller's market. As you can see here, right now in November, numbers are showing that we have just over 4 months worth of inventory. Homes in San Antonio are selling at just under 96.9% of the list price, and at 43 days with a median list price of just over $292,000. Month estimated home values are up to 0.3%, which is relatively flat from October, and we're sitting at 5.9% year over year value appreciation. Now, new home listing activity in San Antonio has remained relatively flat again in November, with a median list price of about $299,945. Active listing, however, did increase by nearly 1% at a median price of $313,450. So fewer homes are going under contract just by a little bit, and so they're becoming active listings. They're still available on the market for sale. Now, moving into new pending listings data. These are homes that have just in November gone into pending status. They're done with their inspections, they're done renegotiating the contract, and they are now scheduled for closing. These homes came in at a median list price of $289,900. That's a 3.3% month over month drop in the median list price. So a group of homes slightly cheaper this time around than last month have gone under contract. And if we look to pending listings for November, these are listings that were already pending that made it into November, and their median list price is around $299,900. Relatively flat from the month before. We've been dancing around this $299 price for a while these last couple of months, but nevertheless, that's where we're at. November sold listings came in at $292,287 for the median sold price home. It's a 2% drop month over month. Not uncommon for this time of year, but something to continue to look at based on interest rates and trends there. And now for our supply of inventory, we are sitting at about 4.4, just over 4 months worth of inventory, which again, that is still considered a seller's market. The change in inventory from last month is about almost 6%, 5.7%, which is a nice change for the buyers if you're looking for inventory. Over the last 12 months, we've seen an additional 36.9% increase in inventory, which sounds like a lot, but we're still super short on inventory. We'll continue to monitor that, but nevertheless, there is more inventory out there to be had and shopped. With all this information in mind and the spring buying season just ahead, what does all this mean for home buyers? Right now, my take is that if you're a buyer, get with a trusted loan officer and realtor early to be prepared to shop when rates finally do come down into your range. And don't be afraid to make offers on slightly overpriced homes. Many of these sellers are willing to negotiate, but they just haven't been presented an offer. Likewise, if you're a seller and you've had little to no traffic or offers in 45 days, now might be a good time to set a meeting with your agent and revisit your marketing plan as a whole. And if you're just now contemplating a move and wondering what the next step is for you, feel free to call or text me at 210-260-6617. Every situation is a little bit different, and I'm happy to go over options that can best fit you and your family.